that I gave the Browns during the off season to be able to show me something. Show me what you're gonna do, right? Let me see what you're gonna do with these free agents. We had like T.J. Ward was a free agent, a couple of other defenders. I think Dante Whitner, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they let my nigga Dante Whitner go. So Dante Whitner is from Cleveland. So you know what I mean? The city had a connection with Dante Whitner because Dante Whitner was literally one of us. Like for real, for real. Went to Glenville High School. You know what I mean? Like I forgot what college he went to, but he went to a local college. Like Dante Whitner was us. So we got rid of Dante Whitner, all this shit. So we get rid of all of our free agents. And what's up, Humility? And we proceed to get RG3. So I was done. I didn't want to be a Browns fan anymore. I didn't want to be a Browns fan anymore. Like if you're not going to try, like I don't want to spend money on this team, and I don't. So how I became a Bengals fan is I gave the Browns one more chance to like have something. Give me a reason to stay. And so I'm looking at the history of the Browns and how they won all these AFL championships and all that kind of stuff like that. But the team is named after Paul Brown. And the team won those championships because of Paul Brown. Now, even though the last championship they won was in spite of Paul Brown being, kicked out of the city and all that kind of shit like that, the Browns wouldn't be the Browns without Paul Brown. And how Art Modell, who I fucking hate Art Modell because he sold my team in the 90s in the first place, the way Art Modell handled Paul Brown, I thought was disrespectful. So I thought for a second, I always loved Carson Palmer when he was a Bengal, even though they did him dirty. I like Andy Dalton. I liked Chad Johnson. I like TJ Hushmanzada. I like AJ Green. I like Giovanni Bernard. I like Cedric Benson. Holy fuck, I like Boomer Esiason. I like Chris Collinsworth. I like Anthony Munoz. Why don't I just be a fucking Bengals fan? Then I get to keep it in Ohio. I get to hate on the fucking Browns twice a year. And I get to still hate on the Pittsburgh... I get to hate on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still. You know what I mean? So it was a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win for me. And that's who I want to be loyal to. So then when you look at the history of the Bengals, I get to say that Boomer Esiason and Chris Collinsworth and Anthony Munoz stood in front of a replacement player bus to protest them replacing them in the NFL games. And I'm very pro-union. As a dirty commie, I believe that workers should own the means of production because we are the ones who produce what is produced. So I'm not saying that we deserve to have all the money. I'm saying that we deserve to have ownership over where that money that we're producing goes. So if you know anything about these NFL strikes and how the NFL works, the NFL is probably one of the most leftist corporations, if you will, in the country. So without them having a collective bargaining agreement and all that stuff, the reason why the NFL and the AFL merged was because of the things that would be considered socialism. That the players have a say in what goes on by having a collective bargaining agreement, and they split the merchandise sales with all the teams. Like, they share it all. So if you buy a Colin Kaepernick jersey, every team gets a piece of that pie. If you get a Dez Bryant jersey, every team gets a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? So, like, everybody wants to hate on fucking socialism, but it's the reason why fucking the NFL is as dope as it is. So I guess it ain't that fucking bad, is it? Because literally, like, when the game was free market, they were literally each league was leaking players because the leagues would poach players from each other. And so when they merged and tried to keep parity within the game. Number one, I don't know where that Typhon dead drop is. I thought I could just get it, but I don't know how to get it. Socialism only works in small groups. No, it doesn't. Socialism works in big groups if they don't have corporations, fascist-like countries blowing them up and interfering with what they got to do. If they were able to, if the Soviet Union, right? The Soviet Union is a terrible example, and China is a terrible example too. But if the Soviet Union has one of the fastest-growing economies in the history of the world, that's facts. One of, I didn't say the, but one of the fastest-growing economies in the history of the world. So to say that as far as capitalism goes, they always talk about growth. If you want to talk about growth, well, socialism grew faster than capitalism does. And then the point of capitalism is to literally leak the value of your dollar in order to maintain an underclass. And the point of socialism, aka communism, once you were able to evolve past it, is to create a stateless, moneyless society. And the only way that you're able to do that is take the gains that capitalism has had, socialize it, spread it out, allow people to live their lives, then pretty soon we're not even going to need money. Finland is a good example, one of the Nordic countries. I'm just trolling because I'm a judge viewer. Oh, yeah. It's all good. But that just goes to show you that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though people come and troll with stuff like that, people should just keep their... How do I get up there? I'm going to do this later because I really want to get this fucking mission done. But yeah, so, I mean, it's possible to do if we don't want to fuck each other, but that's the whole point of a private enterprise, is to get you to work and they take all of the production. So people that love the NFL seem to ignore that fact, and I think that's sad. But I get to support a team. That fought for that to have, for the current players that have the things that they have today. I get to support a team that was instrumental in letting that happen, with Boomer Esiason and the Cincinnati Bengals of 1987, which I wish, if it wasn't for the San Francisco 49ers, the culmination for all of that, the culmination for their hard work and effort and protecting their players and working together as a team, would have been great if they would have won that Super Bowl, and then I could be able to use that against the Browns too. But the fact that they got to the Super Bowl in '88 is, after all of that, is good enough for me. Definitely good enough for me. But that's my Bengals story. That's the reason why I'm a Bengals fan.